Playing impulsively can seem like button mashing to the untrained eye, a hope and a prayer that the buttons you press will beat your opponents. But there's a lot more to it when impulsive play is done correctly. Flowcharting is often used as a negative term for a lack of thinking. However, I believe it can be an important tool in the impulsive player's toolkit. Understanding what block strings you can use when you don't land a hit, and being able to perform them without much thought can make or break winning the round. Welcome to the dojo. I'm Yo Dude, and in this video we're going to discuss becoming a better impulsive player through training. Join the Dojo Club Discord server by following the link in the description below. As I mentioned in my video, buttons and when to press them, having the advantage is a momentary upper hand. It's not something you'll always have, and pressing buttons when your opponent has the advantage is a highway to the O2 City. Landing a throw, sweep, whiff punish, or, in the right circumstances, a drive impact are the quickest ways to get the advantage. What we do next is vital to winning the round. That's why knowing how to be impulsive is so important, even if you're a Lily main who thinks themselves a passive player. If you never take advantage of, well, your advantage, then you'll have a much harder road to victory. Constantly waiting for your opponent to make mistakes gives them more chances to find something you don't know how to deal with. So lay it on thick when you can, and understand when it's no longer your turn. That way you won't make a grave error and take 40% for it. The thing you need to understand is what your basic universal combo is. These are the chorus of your song, your jump shot, then the 1-2 combo you practice more than anything else. The combo is your fastest cancelable medium attack into a special move that will knock down your opponent. Here's a short montage with every character's basic universal combo. Remember, buckle it. Basic universal combos kill less experienced rivals. So now that we know our combo, how do we include it into our play? In any round online, especially in lower ranks, I like to see if my opponents even know how to block. If they don't, then you could just throw out a Meaty attack, defined as any button that's active on an opponent's first frame after being knocked down. This will beat most attempts of mashing their way out of disadvantage and giving you another opportunity to lay in that damage. If they play a character with an invincible reversal, then take note of how much they like to use that to get out of trouble, and base your offense on baiting it out if possible. Once your opponent begins to block, start introducing the mix-up. Oftentimes you'll make your opponent guess the right defense to get out of disadvantage. Should they block high or low? Should they block at all or attempt to break a throw? These most basic mix-ups are often referred to as 50-50. There are two possible choices to make. Their guessing right will take us back to neutral. Their guessing wrong is a loss of life and another guess if the pressure is laid on correctly. So how do we implement a mix-up into our game plan? Mixing your opponent is about layers, and maybe we'll make a whole video covering mix-up in more depth later, but here's a mix-up that's easy to learn and vital for victory. Set up the dummy to perform one of these three wake-up options. Walk back 25 frames, normal throw, and crouching light punch. We also need to turn on no block from the dummy settings menu. With this in place, turn on crouching light punch to practice Meaty attacks. The drill is this. Perform your basic universal combo, and while the opponent is recovering, dash into them and hit them with your BUC again. If this is done correctly, you'll see the yellow counter hit icon appear on your character's side of the screen. If you're attacking too early, the dummy will hit you with a crouching light punch and will have an orange punish counter icon on their side of the screen. If you're too late, then the dummy will hit you with their crouching light punch and you'll see the yellow counter hit icon on their side of the screen. If either is happening as you practice, you'll need to adjust your timing accordingly until it works. The timing is what we're practicing for, and will take some trial and error to get it right with your character. This drill works for every character but Zangief, who has a hard time keeping the advantage unless his opponent is in the corner. The next drill is adding a layer to what we just learned, keeping the same settings and turning on the walk backward wake up option we set up earlier. This drill is designed to help you acknowledge your hit confirms and to stop your pressure before you're punishable. The drill is this. Perform your basic universal combo, and while the opponent is recovering, dash into them and hit them with your BUC again. Sound familiar? Well, here's the twist. Half of the time, the dummy will block your attack. If he does, you need to stop attacking before putting yourself in any danger. If you see the counter hit icon appear, then continue like normal. If you don't see the icon appear, then you need to halt your pressure before making an error. This isn't easy and will take a lot of practice to master, but it's an essential skill in the Impulsive Player's Toolkit. Practice this after having a good grip on meaty attacks and the timing for your character. Now we're ready to add on another layer for your first mix-up. The drill is this. Perform your basic universal combo, and while the opponent is recovering, dash into them and grab them on wake up. This will beat most attempts of mashing on wake up and the neutral blocking option. If performed correctly, you'll see the yellow counter hit icon appear on your side of the screen as you throw the dummy. If it threw out a crouching light punch on wake up, you will not see this icon if the dummy tried to block instead, but you'll have performed the drill correctly if you throw the opponent anyway. If you're too fast, you'll get hit by the standing light punch. If you're too late, you'll either get hit by the dummy's crouching light punch, or you'll noticeably watch him nope out of the area and you'll whiff your throw, which could lead to a lot of life lost in an actual match. Adjust your timing until you're constantly grabbing the opponent. Then it's time to add on one more layer. We talked briefly about what a shimmy is in the Evo video, but this will help you practice doing them yourselves. The drill is this. Perform your basic universal combo, and while the opponent is recovering, dash into them. Instead of going for a grab or your BUC, walk backwards and watch for your opponent's whiffed grab or attack. Once the whiff move comes out, walk back into range and then grab your opponent or perform your BUC. This is a popular option because there's no scenario where you get hit. If your opponent throws out an attack, it gets blocked or it whiffs. If they try to throw you, you break it or it whiffs. And if your opponent walks backwards too, well then you both end up back in neutral. Either way, there's no way you can be put at a disadvantage here. Being impulsive does not mean mashing. Ever. It's important to know your character's toolkits and how to implement it. Start with your pet moves as we talked about in the buttons video, and work your way out from there. There's always more to explore with your character, and I encourage you to find the use for your character's full toolkit, once you have a framework to work with, of course. Thanks for watching, and I'm sorry this video came out so late. Halfway through editing this one, I no longer liked the advice I was giving, so I rewrote most of it from scratch. Hope you enjoyed this look into impulsive play. Next time, we'll discuss how to be a better predictive player. Later days.